Hello and welcome to another episode in my declutter series, and today we are going over cream blushes. This is my entire cream blush collection. I have 59. That is crazy, and I really need to cut this down. However, this is going to be difficult because I think cream blushes are my favorite form of blush. I definitely layer. I do like to layer my blushes, so I will use a cream blush and then sometimes we'll do the underpainting and then we'll go over with a powder blush, sometimes even applying the cream blush on top. It definitely helps make it last, and I love the way it looks. But cream blush is definitely my favorite form of blush. So I have a lot. I need to get this down to a manageable collection because there's some that I have that I completely forgot that I had because they were hidden away in a drawer. So join me today. This is going to be challenging for me, but we're going to do it. And again, let me cut it down. My goal is by half, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think I can do that. Okay, so if you haven't seen any of my other declutters, what I do is I go by brand and I declutter by brand. So I do put timestamps in the description box below so you can skip. So if you just want to see swatches of all the Nudestix, then just go to the timestamps below. If you want to see swatches of all the LYS cream blushes, go to the description box below, skip to the portion that you want, and you can see the swatches that you want. I will probably be swatching all of these because I think I'm going to need to swatch in order to see which ones I'm going to keep. So, but just FYI, that's available to you if you want to do that. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with LYS. I have 8 of them. So I have 2 of the regular size. So I have the shades Confident and Self-Love. I do really like these. However, I hate the packaging. The packaging is bulky and it's very hard to store. And because of that, I can't keep it in my regular vanity. I have to keep it in another drawer, which means I forget these. These are a little bit better. These, because even though they're triangle, they're smaller. These are the 2 sets from the last 2 holiday collections. They had little, 3 minis set of the cream blushes. Now it doesn't look as nice. It's got the clear, the LYS is coming off. This was the one from the year before. However, they're smaller, they're more user-friendly, easier to travel with. I haven't had them break, and I've had this, this one for over a year. So I think I'm going to declutter these. So this is Confident. So let me go ahead and swatch it. I really like the shade Confident. So let me swatch it. So this is the shade Confident. It's a really great neutral shade. And then this is the shade Self-Love. So I don't know yet, but I'm gonna swatch the rest. But I think I'm going to declutter both of these just because of the size, not because I really do like both shades. Plus, they did come out with a Self-Love shimmer, which there's really not that much shimmer in the holiday collection from this past year. So I think I have a version of at least of Self-Love, unfortunately not of Confident, which is actually my favorite shade. Okay, so let's take a look at the 6 that I have from the last 2 holiday mini collections. So this is the shade Unforgettable. Okay, this is Unforgettable. So it's a really pretty pink right there. This shade is from this year and it is Humble. It's easy to see which one is from this year and not, because the ones from this year still have the LYS on it. Next, this is the one from last year. I think this is the favorite one that I have from last year's collection, and this is Grateful. So Grateful is very similar to Confident. It's a little lighter, but it's got that neutral tone. Not the same, but it's a similar vibe. And here is the Self-Love shimmer. So you can see a little bit of shimmer in there, but it's very subtle and it's barely undetectable on the cheek, but it's there. It is there, but it's pretty much the same shade. Okay, this is also from last year. This was the darkest shade in the collection, and this is Empower. Okay, here we go. That's Empower. Okay, and then this is from this year. This is the shade Unique. So really pretty shade. So, okay. So I am definitely going to declutter the 2 big ones just because of size. I like the shades, but I have the Self-Love now, and the 2 middle ones I pretty much kind of get those two vibes. So I'm going to declutter these two here. Then going back, I'm going to keep these two. So this is the Self Love Shimmer, and this is the shade Grateful, which is very similar to Confident. It's going to give me the same look, so, or same feel. So I'm going to keep these two. I'm definitely going to utilize these quite a bit. And now I gotta look at the other ones. So the other ones are challenging, and I have to be honest with myself. So this is that first shade. I think I'm going to declutter this one. I just don't wear a pink like that, and I'm sure I have it in something else, and I haven't reached for it, so I am going to declutter this one, and this is Humble. But I am going to keep, I think I'm going to keep Unforgettable. I think Unforgettable, that's this one right here. I think it's a little bit more unique than the other two, so I am going to keep Unforgettable. And then these two I think are just dark. I can definitely make them work, but I just don't need them. So I am going to declutter these two. So I'm going to keep 3 of the 8 that I have. So we're off to a good start. So I am keeping the Self Love Shimmer, Grateful, and Unforgettable. Okay, next we're going to move on to these two from Merit Beauty. So this is Cheeky and Beverly Hills. This is the Flush Balm Cheek Color. I do really like the size of these now, but this is the shade Cheeky. I like these. I just don't love them. They're a little bit more sheer than what I like. And I have used these. Now this is the shade Beverly Hills. I have used these in the past, but like Beverly Hills is kind of light, and I also don't really, it's just a little sheer for me. So I don't want to say these are bad because there's nothing here that I don't like. I'll be honest, like I wouldn't have these if I didn't like them. I don't reach for them because I tend to, I pretend to like a matte finish. And then also these are a little sheer for me for what I use it for. So I'm surprised, but I think I'm going to declutter both of these. Next up is this one from Doll 10. This is the Dream Whip Multitasking Blush and Highlight Souffle. This is the You're Making Me Blush. This shade was almost a shade dupe for Pinkasm. I mean, it was like just, and it was in a cream, which I preferred. It was so close to Pinkasm. It was amazing. However, it's not available anymore. They've discontinued it, and you just can't get it. So I am going to declutter this. It's a great, I wish it was like such a great dupe. Unfortunately, they discontinued it. And then that leads me to these from Uoma Beauty by Sharon C. If you watched my video on the lipsticks, I believe Uoma Beauty either is going out of business or is being restructured. Their website is gone. They were bought out in December. They almost were forced to close. I had purchased these to do a video. I am still going to do the video and talk about what's going on with them. These are the Flawless IRL, Blush, Audacity, and Bougie AF. So I am going to swatch them. I am going to put them in the declutter pile, but I will declutter them after I do that video. So this is a blush, but it doesn't really look like a blush, right? It's kind of almost a highlighter. So yeah, I definitely declutter that one. And then this one is Audacity, and let's see, Audacity. Now it's a cream blush, but no, this one feels more like a cream. The other one felt more like a highlight. So this is actually a really pretty color. I like that one a lot. So this one is definitely more of a highlight, but it says it's a blush. But I am going to put these in the declutter pile because I pretty much believe that these are going out of business. But stay tuned for that video because I'll be talking about the products because they are still available at CVS and Walmart, and they're really good priced and their products are good. So but after that I will declutter these because I can give these to someone who will get some use out of them. Okay, I'm going to skip that one, and I'm going to move to these from Item Beauty. Item Beauty no longer exists, unfortunately. So Item Beauty, this was the one from Addison Rae. I actually don't really know who she is, and you really can't see that I've used these quite a bit. There's one shade that I used more than others, and I think it's this one. It's Verified. These were fantastic. I think they were like $16 normally, and I got, then they went on sale. It was the Blushin' Like Cream Blush. It had the most unique texture. It's Verified. It had the most unique texture. It literally dries down to a powder. Just amazing. I really liked these a lot. Unfortunately, the brand no longer exists, and I just don't wear them because of that anymore. Because usually when I'm wearing makeup, I'm on camera, or people are asking me what I'm wearing, and I can't really reference this. So they were gorgeous shades, but I am going to declutter them because they're no longer available, and maybe I can give them to somebody who will use them, every day. Okay, now we're gonna move on to this one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow. I have the shade Color of Dreams. This one came in 2 shades. I have the lighter shade, and I actually really like this. I don't really wear it on the lips too much, but you can wear it on the lips. You can see I have used this quite a bit. There's a really good dent in here, so I'm definitely keeping this. This is kind of one of those underrated ones. I think it's beautiful. I'm surprised more people don't talk about it. It was great. So I am definitely keeping this one from Charlotte Tilbury. And then I have some new to me. These are from YENSA. These are the Silk Cream Blushes. So I have the shades Ginger Blaze and Whisper Nude. You can see I haven't even touched this. So I got sent these, and they've been sitting in a drawer just because, again, my collection is so vast. So this is Whisper Nude, and it seems like it's a very, now YENSA seems to be like very natural. So that one is really pretty. I like the shade. And then this is Ginger Blaze. So I think this is a really warm shade again. So I have a good variety of the 2 shades, and I am going to keep these. I want to try them out, play around with them. They seem like a really nice texture. I'm really intrigued by the YENSA brand. I've tried a couple of the products, so I've got 2 varied shades, so I'm definitely keeping both of those. And then we have these 2 from Bobbi Brown that are also fairly new to me. So interesting, they're the same product, but look at the difference of the packaging. Okay, that's interesting. I know that they redid it. I know they just came out with some new shades. So these are the Pot Rouge for lip and cheeks. I have Powder Pink and Pink Flame. So let's look at Powder Pink first. So here is Powder Pink. So really, it's a very neutral shade, really pretty. And then this is Pink Flame. So even though they're both pinks, they're definitely different. So I like that this one is a little bit, pinkier. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping both. I just recently did a video on a bunch of Bobbi Brown products, which I do really like. These were 2 that I liked. I actually like them on the lips as well. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping both of these. And again, I love the packaging because the packaging is compact and small, so it makes it very easy to store, which is so crucial. So I'm definitely keeping both of these. And then that leads me to Sigma Beauty. So Sigma Beauty came out with 4 cream blushes last year. These were not sent to me in PR. I did purchase these myself. I have since been added to their PR list for some things, not everything, but these I did purchase myself. So I'm gonna swatch these, but I'm either keeping 1 or 2, but I can't keep all 4. I just can't, and I don't utilize them, and because there's 4 of them, I just end up using none of them. So I think if I had 1 or 2, I would use them more. So the first one we have is Cor de Rosa. I think this was my favorite shade, and I think this will definitely be the one that I keep if I keep more than that. This is like a really pretty neutral shade. Great. It's actually very similar to the Whisper Nude, but I'm going to go ahead and keep Cor de Rosa. Now we're going to take a look at the other 3. So next up is Coral Dawn, and Coral Dawn, definitely a more coral shade, obviously. And then next we have Pashmina, which is more of a pinkier shade, a bright pink. And then finally we have Nearly Wild. So Nearly Wild is definitely darker. You know what? I think I'm going to only keep Cor de Rosa. I'm really trying to cut my collection down. Cor de Rosa is the one, when I go into the Sigma blush, that's the one I reach for. So that's the one I'm going to keep. Yeah, even though it's pretty much the same shade as Whisper Nude, I'm going to keep that one. Okay, and then next we have the next 2 are from Rose Inc. These are also fairly new to my collection. This is their lip and cheek color. I mean, the only thing I don't like about this is, don't these look like little toilets, like little toilet covers? That's the only thing I just can't get out of my mind. Somebody mentioned that. So I have the shades Dahlia and Azalea. These are super pigmented. I mean, they are pigmented. So I am going to keep both of these because they're unique and I don't have anything like these shades, but it is one that I use these to underpaint because they are so pigmented. Now with that said, I am curious to try. I really love the texture. I mean, you can see these are creamy. So this is the shade Azalea, and I really want to maybe get a more neutral, maybe not as bright shade than these, but I am going to be keeping both of these. I think they're gorgeous. Now they're similar, but this one is kind of more pink, this one's more red, so I'm going to be playing around with them. But again, I do like to use these as underpainting because it just makes my blush last longer. And I really like rose ink. So these were sent to me by the brand, but I just really haven't had a chance to play with them, so hopefully with a smaller collection I'll be able to. Okay, so we're done with the ones in the pots. These are the ones that, honestly, this is where it's going to get difficult. I've done a good declutter so far, but this is where it's going to get challenging, especially when we get to the nude sticks. But this is a little one from ILIA. This is the multi-stick. This is the shade At Last. This is obviously a little mini trial size that I got through, I believe, Sephora, like 100 points or something. So definitely keeping this one. It doesn't take up much space. I actually really like the shade as well, something different, and it's not going to take up much space, so I am going to keep this one. And then we have this one from M Cosmetics. This is the So Soft blush. I have the shade Venetian Rose, which again is a shade that I think is very unique. If I can get it open, is very unique. So it's just the most amazing blush. Now it's kind of like the one from ILIA, except it's matte and it's definitely more pigmented. But I love their bronzer. I love their blush, the So Soft blush. It's beautiful on, wears really well. And it's the only one I have, so I'm definitely keeping this one as well. Okay, now I'm looking at the two from Summer Fridays. So this is the Blush Balm Stick, and I have the shade Warm Desert, so kind of an orangey shade. So definitely more, definitely a balm. It's kind of interesting because it's kind of patchy, but swatches you really can't tell. So definitely a different shade than anything I have. And then the other shade that I have is Dusty Rose. And Dusty Rose is probably very similar to the one from M Cosmetics, Venetian Rose. So these are definitely more sheer. They're definitely more sheer. I'm going to keep these for now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to declutter these because I think they're too sheer. I might keep this one. I'm going to put this one in the maybe pile, Warm Desert. This one is very similar to these two. That being that sheer, I'm not going to reach for it. I might keep the Warm Desert because it's a shade that I don't really have, but I'm going to put that in the maybe, but I'm going to declutter this one because I have a lot. And then we have these three from Charlotte Tilbury. These are the Beach Sticks. These were re-released last year and everybody went crazy for them. I had never tried them before. So I have the shades, there's only 3 shades. So I have the shades Las Salinas, Moon Beach, and Formentera. Moon Beach is currently sold out. So Moon Beach, I believe, is no longer available. It was obviously the most popular, very pretty, a nice peachy pink. And I like that they have some shimmer to them. They are very, very pretty. And then Las Salinas is definitely more pink. And then Formentera, I think this was my favorite, yeah, because it's kind of like a nude. So I am going to keep all 3. I was actually thinking about decluttering them because I really haven't used them much since I did the video on them, but I really like them and I just need to use them more. And I think with my collection being smaller, I'll be able to use them more. So I am going to keep all 3 for now, even though I don't know, there's 2 of them available, but yeah, I'm just keeping them. Moving on, we have these 2 from Persona. I have their bronzer like this, and this is their cream blush. I got this in I got these during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. So this is Teddy. So Teddy is pretty much the nude shade that I have for everything. So that's Teddy. And I really haven't used them. Again, it's one of those things. I have so much that I forget that I have them. And then this is the shade Jam. I don't know why I purchased this shade because it's pretty bright, but I'm going to keep both of these. I just got them and I like the bronzer so much. So I definitely want to utilize these more. So I am keeping both of these. I told you once I got to the sticks, it was going to be hard. Okay, and next we have these two from NARS. These are the Orgasm The Multiple stick. These, I came out with the, I guess the Orgasm collection in early 2023. So this is Orgasm, and this is the one that I'm decluttering. There's just no pigment in it. I love the shade Orgasm. I actually wore it on my wedding day in 2010. But look at that, there's just no shade in this. It's just way too light. So this was really disappointing. I said that in the video when I reviewed it. I didn't recommend it. I'm sure it looks fine once it's on the cheek, but I just want more pigment. So I am decluttering that one. But then this is Orgasm Rush. This one was special. I don't even know if this is available anymore, but either way I'm keeping it because this is the one I loved. This one has much more pigment, really pretty shade. Now mixing the two was great. You can kind of see like mixing the two is beautiful, but I'm not keeping that one just to mix it, but I really love this one. It's a really pretty, I actually love the regular powder blush. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use this, and I have the powder blush as well. And because that's in the Foreplay blush palette. So, but I'm definitely keeping the Orgasm Rush and decluttering Orgasm. And then we have this one from Pat McGrath. This is the Divine Rose. I'm sure it's like a blush balm. I remember it being a balm. It is kind of sheer. It's kind of sheer, but you can definitely build it up. I actually like this. I don't love it, but it's really pretty, and I actually really like it on top of my makeup. So I will put this, maybe layer and then put this on top of, when I do my blush, because it gives a nice glow. And then it does, you can set it. So it's really nice. It's not my favorite. I don't necessarily recommend these. I do have others that I recommend over this one. However, I like the shade. I have it. So I am going to keep it, and it's not that I don't recommend it. I just think there's better out there. And then we have these three from Tarte. These are the Tarte Maneater Slick Sticks. I have the bronzer, and these are nice. So they only come in 3 shades. So this is the shade Berry. So this was very dark. They're super pigmented. They're really nice. These are 7 grams. So these have the same amount of product that a Nudestix has. So just so you know, they're thinner, but they're longer. The Berry is just too dark for me, so I'm definitely decluttering that one. And then the other 2 shades, we had Pink and Buff. So we'll look at Pink, and these are really nice. They're really nice. They're very creamy. They go on really nice. But again, once again, they've been sitting in my drawer and I forgot about them. So I'm kind of torn as to whether I'm going to keep that. I'm definitely decluttering Berry, but I'm really torn on whether I'm going to keep these. I like these, but I have, the Orgasm Rush. I have other shades like this. So I'm going to put these in the maybe pile for now. Okay, so now we're moving on to Nudestix. So obviously I'm a huge fan of Nudestix. But I will say, because of my extensive collection, I really prefer the minis, because the minis just, they're obviously not as, you're not going to get as much product, but they're really convenient, great for travel. They work really well. I also like them for contouring. They came out with a contour, so I want to get some contour shades. But let's just talk about decluttering. I do have a whole swatching video of these, because these are hard, like as far as when you're picking a shade. These are fantastic. This is what got me hooked on cream blushes and our cream products, and they're just fantastic. Now I will say I prefer the matte over the dewy, and then I really love the new Matte Lux. The new Matte Lux is like a cream to powder. So I have all 5 of the Matte Lux, and then I have some mattes, and then I have some dewies, but the dewies is not my favorite. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with the Matte Lux, and I'm going to swatch all of them. And again, I do have a whole video where I talk about these. But okay, well this one, okay, there we go. So I do have a video about talking about these and swatching them, but we'll do them right now again. So this is Nude Buff. This is Dolce Darling. This is Juicy Melons. This is Pretty Peachy. And then the last of the Matte Lux is Rosy Posy. So those are the 5 Matte Lux shades. So looking at this, I think I'm going to declutter Nude Buff. It's just really pale, and I just don't utilize it. I don't really utilize it that much because it's so pale. So I think I am going to declutter Nude Buff, and I think I'm going to keep Juicy Melons and Pretty Peachy. I think I'm going to keep those two, and then I think I'm going to declutter Dolce Darling and Rosy Posy. I might change my mind, but I want to get these down, and I really like these, but because because I have so many, I end up using none. So I want to get these down. So I think these are the two shades, the two in the middle here, the ones I utilize the most. So I am going to keep those. So I'm going to keeping 2 and decluttering 3 in the Matte Lux formula. Okay, so what I did is I just swatched the 2 shades that I'm keeping. So that's Juicy Melons and Pretty Peachy, just so I have reference. Now these are the original matte formula. So I have Salty Siren. So I just wanted to kind of have a reference point. So that's Salty Siren. It's very similar to Pretty Peachy, but it's a little bit deeper. Next up is in the Nude. This one I remember really liking. Yeah, in the Nude. In the Nude is what I wish the Nude Buff was. It's just a little bit more pigmented. So I really like that one. And then the other one in a full size I have is Body Language. So that is Body Language. I am going to keep, I like Salty Siren more than I like Pretty Peachy. So I think I'm going to get rid of Pretty Peachy. Pretty Peachy is a little pale. Salty Siren, it's got the peach, but it's a little bit more pigmented. So I'm actually going to get rid of Pretty Peachy, but then keep these 3 because I like Body Language, I like In the Nude, and I like Salty Siren. And yeah, I'm gonna keep all 3 of those. So this is going different. Okay, so now we're moving on to the minis that I have. So I have 4 in the matte and 5 in the dewy. So this first one that I have is Bareback. I'm pretty much probably going to keep all of these because they are so small. So that is Bareback, you know, definitely a nude, and I like the size. So I'm probably going to keep all of these unless there's just one I just don't like. The next one I have is Naughty and Spice. Naughty and Spice was one of the original ones that I had. Really pretty shade. I like it. So I had it in a large size, but again, I like the mini, so I'm keeping that one. And then we have Cherie. So this is Cherie. So again, very similar. And then we have Sunset Strip. Looks like it's going to be orange, but it's not. It's just more of a peachy. So that is Sunset Strip. And those are the 4 mattes that I have. So, looking at these, I'm trying to think if I should keep, I'm keeping these 4, and then I'm keeping the 3 from before. So I am going to keep all of those. I want to keep the ones that I know I'm going to use, and I like these. So I am going to keep all of these. Okay, moving on, we have the dewy ones. So I have 5 shades, so we'll just go ahead and swatch. So this is Sweet Peach Peony. There you go. Next we have Bohemian Rose. Next up is Poppy Girl. Here we have Sweet Cheeks, which is actually really pale. And then finally we have Cherry Blossom Babe. I'm keeping all of these, they're minis, but again, I think now that my collection is going to be a lot smaller, I think it's going to be easier to utilize, but I'm going to keep all of these because I just can't, there's none that I don't think I will wear, and they're mini, so they don't take up a lot of space either. And that leads us to the maybes. So we have the one from Summer Fridays. Yeah, I'm gonna declutter this. I'm not gonna wear it. It's too sheer. It's just not for me. It's made for somebody else. It's not a bad product, but it's just not for me. And then we have these 2 from Tarte. We have the pink and the buff. I'm struggling with this. I'm really struggling with this. Let me count and see what I have and what my final tally is to see if I'm gonna keep these. Okay, I didn't even come close to cutting my collection in half, so I am just going to keep these because I think I might regret them if I don't keep them. I don't want to do that. So I don't want to get rid of things just because I want to get to a certain number. So I'm going to keep both of these. Maybe I'll declutter them in the future, but they're a really good product. I think they're great, and I do prefer the packaging over the Nudestix, even though it's the same amount of product, just because they're a little bit sleeker. And I don't like, Nudestix has this brush that I never use, but yeah, I'm going to keep both of them just because I don't want to have regrets. Okay, so here is my final collection, and I didn't do that bad, but I didn't get to half. So, but a lot of them ones I'm keeping are mini, so, we'll leave it at that. I am decluttering 24 and I am keeping 35. So, it is what it is. I wish I could get down a little bit more, but I'm really happy with the ones I kept. You know, I didn't really want to get rid of these Maneater ones, so I kept them. Gonna keep the beach sticks for now from Charlotte Tilbury, and I think I have a good variety here. So, but yeah, the next video will be liquid blushes, which is going to be equally as hard. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.